So you're thinking about doing the Whole30 program, eh? Well, get ready for a wild ride of food elimination and self-discovery. It's like an episode of Survivor, but instead of voting each other off the island, you're voting off sugar, grains, dairy, and legumes, alcohol, and anything and all processed. For 30 days, you'll be eating nothing but real whole foods. So say goodbye to your favorite snacks, desserts, and takeout meals. But don't worry, you'll get to indulge in all the vegetables, meats, and fruits you can handle. The Whole30 program is like a nutritional detective game. You're trying to figure out what foods make you feel like $1,000,000 and what foods make you feel like a bag of rocks. You'll be looking for clues to determine if you have any food sensitivities or dependencies. But it's not all serious detective work. There are some fun rules to follow too. For example, you can't step on the scale for 30 days. Instead, you'll be judging your progress based on how you feel and how your clothes fit. It's like a science experiment for your body. Now, before you jump into the Whole30 program head first, make sure it's right for you. Are you ready to give up your favorite foods for a month? Can you handle the restrictive nature of the program? Do you have any underlying health conditions that could be affected by the elimination of certain food groups? It's important to do your research and consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new diet program. In the end, the Whole30 program can be a fun and rewarding experience, but it's not for everyone. If you're up for the challenge and willing to commit to 30 days of real whole foods, then go for it. Who knows, you might just discover a new favorite vegetable or two. Hi friends, welcome to Happie at Home. If you're new here, I'm Angie Happie Lou, and today I want to share with you my honest review and results on the popular diet/lifestyle program called Whole30, which I tried for the full 30 days the program is centered around, and I completed this program to the T with no deviations, cheat days, or meals, nothing. Literally stuck to the program's rules 100% from start to finish for the full 30 days, and boy, do I have a lot to share with you. First, I'll be sharing all of the rules and regulations, including the updated version from when I did it, what exactly your meal prep looks like, because you absolutely have to meal prep on this diet or there's no way you can successfully complete it, in my opinion. All of the pros and cons, what in the world you can order and eat when you go out, because you still gotta live your life and be your normal social self unless you wanna hole yourself up at home for 30 days. And be sure to stay to the end because I'll be answering the #1 question on all of your minds. How much weight did I lose after all this hard work with before and after pics? And can you possibly lose on this 30-day program? But I wanna give you a quick disclaimer here. My approach is not always about losing weight and the fastest weight loss hacks or techniques. However, weight loss is just one of the benefits of this particular diet. I did learn a lot about myself, food that I'm regularly exposing myself to, and tons of healthier habits from this program. Most importantly though, I learned and put into practice just how these habits can help maintain my youth and vitality, which is truly my mission when working with clients and here on this channel. But I do have very strong opinions based on my personal experience whether I would recommend this type of diet in the first place. So without further ado, let's talk about Whole30. Okay, here's a breakdown of all of the rules of the program. The Whole30 program has 2 phases. First, there's a 30 days of elimination followed by 10 days of reintroduction. For the first phase of 30 days, you'll be eating a ton of meat, seafood, and eggs, loads of vegetables and fruit, and natural healthy fat. You can eat all real food. Eat meat, seafood, and eggs, vegetables and fruit, natural fats and herbs, spices and seasonings, but stick around because not all seasonings are created equal. Try and eat foods with few simple and recognizable ingredients, and most importantly, they cannot be processed in any way. So aside from eating it raw, cooked, or dried without any added sugars, if it's gone through any other sort of a process before it hits your mouth, it's off limits. Next is a huge list of all of the no's and more details on what exactly is off limits. Okay, so what are the no's to avoid for 30 days? There's no added sugar, real or artificial. This includes but is not limited to maple syrup, honey, agave nectar, coconut sugar, date syrup, monk fruit extract, stevia, Splenda, Equal, NutraSweet, and xylitol. If there's added sugar in the ingredient list, it's a definite no-no. There's no alcohol allowed in any form, whether being consumed, used as an ingredient, even if it's for cooking. There's absolutely no grains allowed. This includes wheat, rye, barley, oats, corn, rice, millet, bulgur, sorghum, sprouted grains, and even gluten-free pseudo-cereals like quinoa, amaranth, and buckwheat. No legumes. This includes all beans, peanuts, including peanut butter or peanut oil, and all forms of soy. This was super tough for me. Soy sauce, miso, tofu, tempeh, edamame, soy protein, soy milk, or soy lecithin. The only exceptions are green beans and most peas. See the fine print section of the Whole30 website. There's no dairy allowed. This includes cow's milk, goat's milk, or sheep's milk products like milk, cream, cheese, kefir, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, frozen yogurt, and sour cream. But you can use clarified butter or ghee. Again, refer to the fine print section of the site. No carrageenans or sulfites. If these ingredients appear in the ingredient list of your processed food or beverage, it's out for the Whole30. A lot of plant-based milks have carrageenan in it, a texturizing additive derived from seaweed, so be sure to check your labels again. I know that my favorite brand of oat milk is carrageenan free, but it's made from oats, so obviously it's out from the program. There's no recreating baked goods, treats, or junk food with approved ingredients. This rule is designed to help you curb your cravings, stating that your habits won't change if you keep eating these foods even if they are made with Whole30 ingredients. There's no stepping on the scale or taking measurements. The program is geared toward a focus on a total body reset, centered around developing healthier habits with lifelong benefits, so solely focusing on your body composition as the main marker is not allowed. And last, if you cheat even once with a sip or bite of something that's off limits, the program must restart all over again from day one. Say what? That's right. This is really to help you to fully benefit from identifying problematic foods through the process of elimination and not sell yourself short from life-changing results. There's also something called the pancake rule, which includes pancakes, obvious, crepes, waffles, bread, tortillas, biscuits, muffins, cupcakes, cookies, brownies, alternative flour pizza crust or pastas, granola, cereal, or ice cream. No commercially prepared chips, potato, tortilla, plantain, etc., or french fries are allowed either. If there's anything else that you feel may promote cravings or cause you to fall off the Whole30 wagon, just simply avoid it for 30 days. There's that fine print section I mentioned that covers some exceptions to the program rules like ghee or clarified butter. Fruit juice. Products or recipes that include orange, apple, or other 100% fruit juices are compatible with the program even if they're used as a natural sweetener. But on a personal note, I wouldn't be downing glasses of OJ every morning even if it's fresh because this may hinder your progress in curbing sugar cravings. Certain legumes, green beans, and most peas, including sugar snap peas, snow peas, green peas, yellow peas, and split peas are allowed. Vinegar and botanical extracts. Most vinegar, including white, red wine, balsamic, apple cider, and rice, as long as it's not seasoned rice vinegar, as this has added sugar, and alcohol-based botanical extracts like vanilla, lemon, or lavender are allowed during your Whole30 program. Malt vinegar, on the other hand, is out since it contains gluten. And coconut aminos. All brands of coconut aminos, a brewed and naturally fermented soy sauce substitute, are acceptable, even if you see the words coconut nectar or coconut syrup in their ingredient list, which both prove to also have a very low glycemic index. And iodized salt, even though all iodized salt contains a tiny amount of dextrose sugar as a stabilizer, but ruling out table salt would be unreasonable, so it is therefore compliant. Next is the reintroduction phase. So after the first 30-day elimination period, you'll go into phase 2, a 10-day period at least of reintroduction. This is that detective work part where you'll get to discover if you have any adverse reactions to certain food groups as they are being reintroduced. Pay close attention to how certain food groups affect your energy, sleep, mood, cravings, digestion, hormones, and more. During this phase, you'll reintroduce one food group at a time, then go back to eliminating it for 2 days to reset your body. The program suggests reintroducing food groups in order of least likely to be problematic for you to the most likely, whatever that may be. The first one is optional, but it's added sugar, refined and/or sugar substitutes, which can be problematic for many. The next optional one would be gluten-free alcohol. Then you would reintroduce legumes, and then non-gluten grains, then dairy, then gluten-containing grains. Okay, I know that program breakdown was super long, but it was very necessary to go over. So let's get to the meal prep part now. As I mentioned before, with all of these rigid rules, the best way, in my opinion, to strictly adhere to all of them is to eat as much as you can at home. And I've stressed this before in my other videos, you don't want to find out the hard way at your post-work famish point that you don't have anything Whole30 compliant to eat at home and only to find yourself at the nearest drive-thru and having to start the Whole30 program over again from day one. So meal prep is key to your success, and I suggest shopping and prepping everything on a Sunday night, getting your roasted veggies oven ready, buying tons of protein sources with fresh fruits and veggies, and lots of eggs because you'll be eating a ton of them. You can sign up for the program's emails and get inside tips on a myriad of recipes, and I'll also be sharing lots of compliant recipes I've developed myself during the program that includes even my favorite Korean food, so stay tuned for those. So what are the pros of the Whole30 diet? If I had to break it down to just 5 pros from my personal experience, I would say the following. Number 1, you'll definitely lose weight. I'll be sharing how much weight I lost as well as some of the weight my friends that joined my Whole30 journey group in a minute, so be sure to stick around. However, will that weight stay off is the big question. I'll be answering that too in a bit. Number 2, you learn so many new habits like new ways to cook and eat with ingredients like coconut aminos. Truly one of my favorite takeaways from the program, as well as getting used to sugar-free ketchup. It's honestly not that bad at all. I also completely stopped using any sweeteners in my coffee since completing the program and haven't missed it one bit. Number 3, you'll also experience better mood and consistent energy levels throughout the day without any noticeable crashes. And number 4, if you have any sensitivities that you're trying to 100% identify, this type of elimination diet may help you figure out the culprits, i.e. crazy bloating, rashes, fatigue, etc. And 5, you will lose cravings for most unhealthy processed foods, sugar, and alcohol, which will be noticeable after the first couple of weeks or so. Okay, so what are the cons of the Whole30 diet? Okay, this may not happen to everyone, but boy was I constipated. And so were my friends, like utterly disappointing rabbit pellets or just nothing at all for days sometimes. My body was definitely not happy with the added animal protein and lack of grains. It's also socially awkward at times. If you decide to go out, you are that annoying person asking your server 101 questions about ingredients, and even at a simple salad bar, you're asking which dressings have sugar, even honey, etc., and it can cause your mates to give you a serious eye roll or two. It can also get expensive with all of the additional meal prep and shopping, but probably not more than eating out multiple times of the week. I'll be sharing more on where to shop for compliant items in my tips section, so be sure to stay tuned to check that out. It can also feel too restrictive at times, and you can get bored of eating the same thing over and over again. Our go-tos was guacamole on top of everything and roasted veggies every single day. You'll see in a moment what happened to me and my Whole30 crew, but your weight loss is most likely not permanent unless these healthier habits you develop during the program stay ingrained in your brain and you continue to adhere to them regularly. So what in the world can you order when going out to eat? Like I mentioned, guac on top of everything. Obviously, no alcohol during the program, so aim for a mocktail, but it cannot have sugar. So just soda with lime and mint, and pretend you're sipping on a nice, refreshing, but very bland mule or mojito. I would just order the simplest protein without any heavy sauces or creams, like roasted chicken or some sort of baked fish, a side salad with olive oil and balsamic vinegar, separate because the vinaigrettes usually have added sugar, and honestly, if they have sweet potatoes on the menu, 1000% order them. Of course, as long as they don't have a glaze or a fancy sauce on them. I would recommend not eating sushi as you cannot have any soy sauce, ginger, all sugar, or wasabi. Yep, that has sugar too, unless it's freshly grated in front of your eyes. I made this mistake and it was not an enjoyable experience, to say the least. You can also order a bunless burger with the patty and veg, but you can't have fries or ketchup, so why bother? If you go Italian, you can pretty much again have a baked fish or a juicy steak, veggies, a side of olives, but obvious no bread, butter, or pasta. I still had to eat Korean food with my mom once a week, which was a tough one. Luckily, she loves this place that only serves oxbone soup, so I would have it without rice or kimchi, because you guessed it, kimchi has a ton of sugar. And I called it a day. Again, prepare to be that annoying person asking about the ingredients in everything, but on a side note, maybe even carry around a side of sugar-free ketchup and coconut aminos for seasoning if you really want to be prepared. I decided to try Whole30 back in April of 2021. I was blessed to be able to do it with 2 of my friends, and we really kept each other accountable. We had a text thread sharing what we were thinking of eating, what we cooked, ordered when we went out, and honestly, the food-obsessed conversations were endless during the whole program. It was fun, but again, I felt like we all couldn't stop thinking and talking about food 24/7. I followed the program to the T because I did not want to have to start it all over again. I didn't weigh myself, and it was nice not to count calories or portion out food, although I found myself eating 3 full meals a day, which is a far cry from my usual intermittent fasting routine that I love so much. I documented all of the meals I had for the entire 30 days, and by the end of it, I had lost 6 pounds with noticeable bloat and fat gone from certain areas like my belly, mid-back, and my face. My friends all lost 10 pounds or more, but we had planned a trip to Hawaii right after we completed the program, and I think it really defeated the purpose of finding any problematic culprits, as we just gorged ourselves for 8 days and gained all of the weight back. So here are some of my tips. First off, don't plan a crazy food fest vacay right after only to gain all the weight loss back. Meal prep for success is a must. Doing it with a buddy like we did can really help build a support system and keep each other accountable. Shop most compliant and affordable products at Thrive Market. You can even start a monthly subscription with them, and I've linked them in the description below. Try not to eat out too much if you can help it, because as I mentioned, it's just not the easiest to find compliant dishes at most restaurants. So, does this sound like something that is right for you? I think if you have a reason to go on an elimination diet and rule out which food groups are problematic for you, then yes. But if you're just doing it for weight loss, then no, as I don't think the rigidity of the program is something that is sustainable in the long run. A paleo type diet, which is similar to Whole30 but rules out refined sugar instead of all sugars, may be more feasible, or try intermittent fasting like the 5-2 diet, both of which feel less restrictive, still have benefits of learning healthier habits, and may be more suitable to fit your lifestyle long term. The best thing I learned from my own Whole30 experience is the amazingness of coconut aminos, which I now use regularly to cook my food with. I hope this video gave you some good insight into the program, and let me know if you have any questions or comments below. I'll see you on the next one.